I'd like to say a few words this morning about Mike Pompeo, our CIA director, and the President's extraordinary choice to serve as Secretary of State. In recent days, the world learned Director Pompeo had undertaken initial conversations with Kim Jong-un directly, Easter weekend, to discuss denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula. Obviously, he has the confidence of the President, engaged in the most sensitive undertaking one could imagine in today's world, and yet so many on the other side are suggesting they have reservations about this outstanding nominee. Pursued with clear-eyed realism and clear objectives, this is a worthy effort. North Korea has been a perplexing problem for president after president after president. And Mike Pompeo is on the point of this effort, which hopefully will finally lead to some outcome. Although every commander-in-chief has insisted it would be unacceptable for North Korea to obtain a nuclear-armed intercontinental ballistic missile, it is this administration that finds itself having to actually achieve that objective because time has run out. So as a matter of policy, it would be hard not to be encouraged by the fact that there were actually talks, direct talks, underway. Based on Director Pompeo's impressive record at the CIA, the North Koreans undoubtedly view him as credible, determined, and insightful. Isn't that what you want in a Secretary of State? The quiet nature of these discussions reflect how serious they were. The mission also speaks to Mike Pompeo's future as Secretary of State. Here's a man who, through mastery of the daily briefings he receives, counsel on our nation's most sensitive intelligence activities, and proven leadership in returning our CIA to aggressive gathering of foreign intelligence, has inspired the confidence of not only the National Clandestine Service, but very importantly, the Commander-in-Chief. Hallmarks of Mike's leadership are listening, trusting career staff, acting decisively, and treating everyone fairly. I've recently heard some critics claim the Trump administration places too little emphasis on diplomacy. In truth, the public statements of Secretary Mattis, former Secretary Tillerson, former National Security Advisor McMaster, have signaled a clear preference for aggressive, realistic diplomacy over potentially risking American lives. I've heard Secretary Mattis say over and over again that the last thing he wants to do is to use the military. Wants to buy time so diplomacy can work. But regardless, in confirming Mike Pompeo as Secretary of State, the Senate can ensure the nation has a chief diplomat who enjoys the complete confidence of the President. Isn't that what we should all want, regardless of party? Those who claim to want a larger role for diplomacy should match those words with action and vote to approve him. What would be a better example of diplomacy than just what we were talking about, the visit to North Korea? Direct conversations with Kim Jong-un. We all know Mike's resume, graduate of the U.S. Military Academy and Harvard Law School, served as a U.S. Army officer on the House Intelligence Committee and as director of the CIA. In my view, Mike Pompeo is uniquely qualified to restore esprit de corps throughout the ranks of the Foreign Service. I can't imagine. It's hard to imagine a better choice for Secretary of State than Mike Pompeo.